Welcome back to Embody Safety with Eva. And today we will talk about the experience of being chosen and feeling chosen in your relationships. Because the opposite of that, and where so many of you are coming from, probably if you reached out for this type of content, is the feeling of feeling rejected or unwanted, or like you don't belong, or you need to work really hard for that feeling of being chosen and truly wanted and feeling lovable and accepted in relationships. And so I want to start talking about where we are usually coming from, somatically speaking, the experience that we have in our body when we feel like we are not chosen yet, working really hard to be chosen. And this experience shows up for so many empathic women, kind-hearted women who put the other person, whether it's a potential partner or the current partner, they put the other person on a pedestal, and then internally they cater to that person or to that person's needs and desires. And usually this patterns is unfolding even before the woman has vetted whether that man or the partner is emotionally stable, safe, mature, if he is her equal, if he is an equal relationship partner who has the ability to support her and to actually make her life easier, better, richer, and add value in every way. So I want you to start noticing, because this is a sneaky pattern that's going on usually in our subconscious mind. Sometimes it tends to be very unconscious, very deeply ingrained. So we are not even aware that we are doing it. But I want you to start catching yourself whenever you are feeling like, oh my gosh, this person is so amazing, or they are so charismatic, and you don't even really know that person. You don't know their character. You haven't observed their patterns of behavior, especially towards you, over a longer period of time. This means, and you feel that way, like, oh my gosh, they are so amazing, and am I enough for them? Are they going to choose me? That's usually that little girl in us, that younger version of us that experience that love is scarce and love is not always available. That's her running the show and her running the choices. So you are not consciously choosing who you want as a relationship partner, or even in friendships or in your career and business, but you are letting that little girl in you that's hungry for someone to choose her run the show. And that little girl almost sees the other person as the perfect parent. Like, if I just can get their attention, if I just can get their love and their approval and their acceptance, then I will finally have the perfect love that I always desired, I always wanted. I will now live happily ever after, because I will feel fully accepted, fully loved, and my goal. And you focus all of your attention, all of your effort on the other person and earning their love, earning their approval. So whenever this is happening, and again, I'm just calling out that pattern because it tends to be very subconscious, just notice that it's what's going on. Notice, because catching that pattern is 50% of the work, and noticing that you are doing that gives you the momentum to then shift the pattern. So somatically speaking, how does this experience feel in your body? How do you know that you are doing that? So being in a relationship where you've put the other person on a pedestal. So in healthy relationships, there are no pedestals. There are just two whole people, two partners who are equally matched, and the relationship is reciprocal. But whenever you have that experience of almost like that person is above me or in front of me, and I need to catch up to them, I need to kind of like get their attention, get their approval. There is this more needy or like taking energy, and internally you will start feeling very empty. There is usually a lot of self-judgment or self-criticism going on, because you are afraid that who you are is not enough, or you are not worthy of that approval. There is almost like this belief of, if I am just who I truly am without all that earning, performing, and striving, I won't be chosen. So I'm again describing the somatic internal visceral experience that women who have the tendency to not feel chosen, how they internally feel. It feels almost also in relationships, you feel like you have to hold your breath. Because if you allowed yourself to be fully who you are afraid that that love or attention or connection from the other person will disappear. And I just want to validate this fear because usually that little girl, that pattern is very sneaky and she picks people who she chooses people who remind her of the caregiver that was emotionally unavailable, and she's just reliving that same pattern. So your fear might very well come true if you stop earning their love, if you stop performing and filling in the gap where the other person is not meeting you halfway. They very well just might fall off. They might stop trying, or you will notice that they are not even trying, they are not putting any effort. So that fear is very real, where you are choosing the pattern. I'm sorry, where you are choosing the partner from the subconscious pattern. Uh, that fear might very well come true, but also the work that you need to do is to feel internally safe and secure, uh, even if the other person is not choosing you. So I also want you to know that emotionally healthy people, emotionally mature people just don't pull away. So there is a lot of content out there talking about how men pull away and want what to do when they pull away, or even if you are a man listening to this, healthy, emotionally mature people don't just pull away if the relationship is reciprocal and they are in love with you. People who pull away are emotionally unavailable, and emotionally healthy person will pull away only if you are being unkind or disrespectful towards them. Otherwise, the communication is open, the communication is reciprocal, and they will let you know if something feels off, and they don't need to pull away. Pulling away or like shutting down or becoming defensive, those are all signs of emotional unavailability and immaturity, and that's not the type of person you want to have in your life unless they are actively doing the work to change that. Okay, so and also somatically speaking, when we are waiting to be chosen, you feel like you are just walking on eggshells. You cannot be fully yourself, and you are asking yourself, am I enough for them? Instead of asking yourself, are they a match? Are they someone who can fit into my life and support me? Okay, so what we want to do with this? If you feel like, if any part of you feels like if they reject me, I won't survive that, or I will be completely shattered and devastated, it's not your adult self. You are not in your adult self. You are not in your present self, taking care of you and taking care of those younger parts of you. And that's what we want to shift. You want to start creating an embodied self of being your best friend, being also your best parent, being the parent you didn't have, who didn't have the capacity for whatever reason to give you the love and attention and presence you needed. And you want to start cultivating the experience of being seen and being present with yourself and taking care of your needs and acknowledging your needs and loving on yourself, cherishing yourself, accepting yourself. You want to start creating that experience in your body somatically now, because that pattern, it doesn't change. Logic doesn't change the subconscious patterns. You want to go deep enough into your body to shift that pattern somatically in your body, in your viscera, in your subconscious mind. Okay, so you want to have an experience of being safe, secure, and fulfilled in your own presence and company, and then and only then you will stop putting other people on a pedestal, even whether it's like a coach or mentor or someone outside of yourself whose advice you seek or you use as, or even a friend or a parent whose advice you seek as a crutch to validate yourself. You want to build that inner safety and security to trust yourself, to validate yourself, to trust your instincts, and to trust your body's cues when it comes to relationships and how other people are showing up. Okay, then we want to shift feeling internally, like you need to earn love and validation and your worth. You want to shift from feeling like you are chasing that and it's always elusive to feeling like, oh, I'm already lovable. There is nothing to prove here. I'm already worthy. I'm already wanted. And a smart, intelligent, empowered, emotionally healthy person will notice that. They will see value in me as a relationship partner. And you want to start filling yourself up and filling your body and that somatic experience you have every day with all those good feelings, with feelings of being wanted and loved and cherished and committed to. Because really, when we put the other person on a pedestal and we chase them and chase their love and appreciation, we are not committed to ourselves and our well-being. And especially if that person haven't proved themselves to be a consistent, safe, reliable, emotionally mature relationship partner. And then we want to notice whenever those younger parts are replaying that pattern from the past where we chase love and try to prove ourselves and with somatic interventions. So that's something you can learn to do in my free guidebook or in the Sanctuary of an Embodied Woman. If you need more support, that's something we do with somatic interventions. So it's not only you like trying to force yourself to feel different or, to feel different. We help our body with somatic interventions to change our nervous system state and change our emotional state so we feel safe and secure now. We feel safe and secure now because whenever you put the other person on a pedestal, there is this underlying feeling of I'm not safe until they choose me. I'm not safe. I won't survive. Like this will be devastating. I cannot allow myself to feel loved or accepted if they are not choosing me. So this is that uh, experience of being rejected or abandoned, kind of like in a nutshell. This is what's going on in your body, and it's very somatically taxing. It's taxing on your well-being, your emotional state. It's really making you feel empty and exhausted internally, and that's what we want to avoid at all costs. Okay. And you want to remember that you are the parent now. You are your best friend and you are going to choose you. And you want to practice doing that before anyone else does. Because this is how you build secure attachment with yourself. You choose yourself even if no one else is choosing you. And then once that pattern shifts in your body, once your subconscious is used to the experience of being chosen, you will naturally gravitate and you will notice people who have the capacity to choose you back and support you to the same capacity and extent to which you are supporting yourself. So a very short somatic practice you can do today is to, instead of seeing that person or your partner, if you are working on anxious attachment or fearful avoidant attachment, instead of seeing that person on a pedestal or in front of you and having the internal experience of chasing them and working hard to be noticed and to be seen, I want you to imagine taking that person either beside you or even behind you and imagining in your body, noticing in your body, how does it feel if I already had the attention of the person that I've put on a pedestal? Or how would it feel if I seen them, if I experienced them beside me like an equal partner? And you will probably notice, so this is something if you need more support into feeling into this is something we do, for instance, in the sanctuary portal. And then notice how your body reacts to that. So there is now more attention on you. There is more attention on what you desire. There is more attention on now what? Like now what? Now that I have their approval and support, now what? Now I have to figure out what I need and what I desire and what I want to do with my life. Okay, so this is such a complex topic. I can talk about this all day, but if you would like to work on this more, definitely download the guidebook or join us in the Sanctuary of an Embodied Woman. And I will see you in the next one.